Hi, beautiful souls. It's Tan back here again today with you on this Astrology, Human Design, and Jinkies channel. And today I'm bringing to you a video on a very interesting topic with regards to the transit energies of the planets. And we're going to be talking today about the upcoming Mars, Uranus, North Node conjunction in the sign of Taurus, square to Saturn in Aquarius, and what that brings into our lives and into the world. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I've recently made a new painting. It's behind me. You can't see the whole thing, but it's there. The process video of this painting is uploaded on my art YouTube channel. So I would really much appreciate your support if you could head over there and click subscribe and like the video if you like it. I'll provide a link to that channel up above in the description box below as well. And I want to say a special thanks to Nathan Glass, who has provided me with the music that I use in the video of that particular painting. So if you like the music that you hear from Nathan in the process video, you can check out his Instagram. You can also check out his YouTube channel. He has some amazing work there. When you hear music and it's just so emotional, it touches your heart. You just kind of feel like, wow, you have a place to fall back onto when you need to feel certain feelings. And so that's how I feel about Nathan's music. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, so let's get to it. So the conjunction that's happening between Mars and Taurus, Uranus and Taurus, and the North Node in Taurus is something that a lot of people have been sending me questions about, and it's very much talked about in the community about the fixed sign energies. So Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo are fixed signs in astrology, and what the impact of this particular transit that's coming up is going to bring this year. And I want to speak to you guys today from a place of intuition and like I could give you information that you can basically find from another YouTuber, another astrologer, or just find somewhere on the internet. And I kind of don't want to do that. I want to talk about this from a place of like just providing you guys something different to contemplate on, to bring you down a rabbit hole on. And you'll see why that is when I include the gene keys and human design into the interpretation of this particular transit. So the North Node being in conjunction to Uranus has, of course, happened before in the past. And you can search for that on the internet and you'll see that the times when that's happened, we've had some significant technological growth and improvements in the world. But, that's just something that's obvious. Like, I don't feel like I have to tell you guys that, but I want to get deeper into that and see like what could actually be happening, how you could actually cultivate and use this energy. Yes, for yourself, for your own growth. So yeah, let's get into it. So these are some of the important dates that we want to be looking into when we're looking at this particular transit. So Mars will be conjunct to Uranus and Taurus from July the 22nd to August 15th, 2022. So this is when the conjunction is going to be pretty close between Mars and Uranus in the North Node, but not exact yet. But the exact conjunction happens at 18 degrees of Taurus between Mars, the North Node, and Uranus on July 31st to August the 1st of 2022. And on that particular date, there's also a square to Saturn in Aquarius and Mercury in Leo that's happening with, that's coming into this particular conjunction. So the energies are going to be the most intense on July the 31st to August the 1st, because we're going to be having what is considered a T-square in astrology. But it's actually going to be a grand cross. Let me tell you how the configuration looks. Let me just show you. So I wanted to do this today so that I can kind of annotate on here without having to edit this later. So what you'll see is that this is a chart that I put up for the 1st of August 2022 around midnight in London, the UK time. So the time might change for where you're located. But here on that particular time that I've set up, we have, as you can see, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node being in conjunction at 18 degrees of Taurus. And because of the time that I put up here, it's also going to be on the ascendant, which would be in Taurus. Then we have Saturn in Aquarius at 22 degrees and Mercury at 24 degrees of Leo, right? So we have a T square. So this particular intense triangle, red triangle shape is a T square. But of course, because the North Node always comes with the South Node, which is going to be at 18 degrees of Scorpio, it's going to be around here somewhere. And that means that with the South Node being here in Scorpio, Saturn will also square the South Node and Mercury will also square the South Node. So we are going to have somewhat of a T square configuration, as you can see right here. So this is a very restless type of an energy, keeping in mind that Uranus is also coming into play here. So this is going to make it even more restless because, hey, it's Uranus. It's like that electric, energy that's coming in, right? But it can also definitely bring stability if we're working with it correctly. Energies of a T square. This is a collective energy. So we are looking at collective restlessness. I know that a lot of websites on there are saying that this is a time of chaos. And I don't think that it has to be, because we have fixed signs coming into play here. What do fixed signs want in astrology? They want stability and they want something to last long term. They want to be able to create foundations so that something, whatever the T square is doing, is going to last long term. And because Uranus is coming into play here, and Aquarius and Saturn Aquarius, so we have a double Aquarian theme because Uranus is ruled by Aquarius and Saturn's in Aquarius, right? But Aquarius is also, ruled by the planet Saturn as well. It has two rulerships in the modern day. Nonetheless, there is that double Aquarian energy coming in. So we are going to be looking at the word revolution when it comes to these themes that we're looking at. And how can these fixed energies create a lasting revolution that will really impact the world and change the world in a way that's going to be beneficial long term, rather than a revolution that is made on a whim, made out of anger, and it causes chaos, but doesn't make any actual radical changes long term. So when we have, Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, what Aquarius wants to do is it wants a revolution. It wants everybody to have equality. It's the brotherhood, the humanitarian sign of zodiac, as we all know. But without Leo, the opposite sign of Aquarius, the revolution of Aquarius can be lacking of love. This is Leo energy, that heart of the Leo. Without the Leo, that Aquarius energy that revolution of the Aquarius can be very cold, can be cruel, can be brutal. Ironically, the sign of humanitarian can be cold. So Aquarius is an energy where Aquarius is not a sign that has a lot of self-awareness, right? It's very much about other people, the collective. So in its nature, the sign of Aquarius doesn't have a lot of reflection or contemplative energies, or the ability to really take the time to contemplate, which is an act of self-love. Leo energy has more of the energy to retreat and to look back and reflect and build on that sense of self-love, which can then be a love that is given to other people in the collective. So that's how Leo and Aquarius work together when it comes to revolutions. And then we have Taurus. What does Taurus bring to revolutions? Taurus is the sign that has to do with, it's an earth sign. So it's a sign that's mostly associated with Mother Earth more than any of the other signs. And so a revolution that doesn't take into consideration the environment, nature, animals, and other living beings that are, co-living with us here on this earth is going to lead to that revolution that is going to cause more damage than positive change and impact, because it's not taking into consideration nature. And I want us to reflect on this together for a little bit. And we know that there's been a lot of revolutions that have happened in the past, right, in our world. And a lot of it has been for people. And they were important revolutions, but I also feel like they didn't really cause any long-lasting change. I don't want to, point to specific mainstream revolutions that we've heard of, because it's more than that. Like, there are revolutions that are happening, within certain communities, within certain families, within certain people, like within the self of the people that we can't even begin to explain. So yeah, and those kinds of revolutions that have, not considered nature or the environment, the impact of that. Hmm. The impact of technology, Aquarius. I mean, the advance of technology is beautiful, but the impact of it on the earth, Taurus, without the love, Leo, of the earth, Taurus. This is the challenge that is going to happen. The other thing about the sign of Taurus that we have to keep in mind is that it is a sign that has to do with values and what's essential and what's necessary. So Aquarius, revolutionary Aquarius energy, without understanding what is the essence of what you're fighting for or what you're rebelling against, can also be destructive. The Scorpio energy. So Scorpio, the last energy that we're seeing here is one that's looking deeper into the is looking deeper into and providing the insights of the essence of what you actually want to rebel against or want to rebel for. And it can provide a creative and original approach to revolution. And this is important because a non-creative revolution is one where you're standing on the street with a group of people and you're having a mob, and that's it. That's what kind of lasting impact is that actually making, versus what if you could hone in on the intensity of the scorpionic energy, keep that energy within yourself, build momentum within it, and release it into something much more creative. This is the power of Scorpio. So without that Scorpio energy coming in, a revolution can be destructive. So that's, I feel like a lot of people are probably gonna, I feel like this video is a revolution against revolution, but for the sake of like wanting to make revolutions better in the world rather than just kind of like bashing revolutions in general. Like, I love revolutions and I love rebellions and I love rebellious people, but I love it when those revolutions and those rebels are creative, know what they're actually, rebelling against, knows the essence of what they're actually fighting for, does it from a place of love rather than anger, and takes into consideration Mother Earth and the environment. Taurus girl here, right? So now I want to go deeper into this, and I want to look at the gene keys and human design aspect of like where this particular degrees of Taurus, 18 degrees of Taurus, this 22 degrees of Aquarius, 18 degrees of Scorpio, and 24 degrees of Leo, where that falls in the spectrum of the gene keys and human design to get a deeper understanding of these energies. So on this particular day, we have 18 degrees in 3 minutes, 18 degrees in 18 minutes, and 18 degrees in 41 minutes. And that all falls into gene key number 2. The frequency of the shadow of dislocation, the gift of orientation, and the city of unity. This archetype of Taurus is, you can see, it's called the receptive. So it's earth over earth. I'm not sure if you can see this. It's over here. I'm trying to circle that I Ching hexagram there, but yes. So it's the feminine and the most receptive energy of all. And that's why this receptivity of the 18 is very much associated with Mother Nature, because that's the nature of Mother Earth. She is receptive and she's slow moving. if you compare the the growth of our whole entire world over billions of years and the development of technology, which is man-made, which is more Aquarian, that has come in over the last 100 years. Look at how fast people and technology is moving versus the speed of Mother Nature. We are going against and we are, you know, interrupting the flow of Mother Nature with our technology. Um, and with the intellect, that we have developed, we're really like kind of going against that, right? In human design, gene key in human design kit number 2 is located over here in the G center, part of the channel 214. And this particular circuitry that goes right down the middle of your body graph, so the whole way in the middle here, this channel, these channels here, they're what's called individual circuitry in human design, meaning that they're about your own unique direction and your own unique path in life. And you can see how when you're in touch with your own unique direction, your own unique path in life, it will help you to know the essence of yourself. It'll help you to know that you are already different in your own way and that there is nobody else like you in the world and that everybody is this way and that we need not label ourselves. And this is one of the things that I feel like, and maybe a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I know that there's like a lot of, movements surrounding diversity and inclusion. But if we really look at those movements, the moment that you are wanting to have diversity or have inclusivity, the irony of that is that in order to do that, you have to first put people in boxes and you have to first begin to categorize people. Like, think about like diversity in the workplace. If you want to have people that are going to work for you that are of different race or different culture or religion, first you have to say, that's your religion, that's your culture. You are Asian, you are Black, you are white, you are Christian, you are Muslim, you are Buddhist. And it doesn't really allow for diversity within the individual anymore. So I feel like this energy that's happening right now, that's going to be happening, and it's very intense, is for us to come back to that place of who are we really without all those labels that we put into us. And the thing about, gate 2 is that it wants to connect to the 14, which is located in the sacral. As you can see, in the sacral has to do with our sexuality. And, when it comes to gender identities and like the labels that we give ourselves and give people because we think it is inclusive, for example, I'm straight, or I am bisexual, or I am gay. Whatever labels you're giving yourself is putting yourself into a box. And I can understand from a place of love that is, it's not a bad intention. Like, it's ultimately like a really good intention to wanting to get to a better place, but it causes divide. Like, I've had experiences in my life where I'm not a minority, but I've been shut out of certain minority groups because I don't belong in a minority. And so it's like, okay, I'm separated. I'm not included. And so I want us to rethink this particular, if possible, like contemplate, like rethink this way of approaching revolutions and the way that we're changing the world. Oh, this is a super intense video suddenly, but it is an intense energy. I think I'm really getting into it. Yeah, this rebellious intense energy. So then we have the opposite point of Gene Key 2, right, which is a Scorpio energy, and it's going to be in gate 1 in human design, and that goes from entropy to freshness to beauty. And Gate one has a lot to do with being an original. It's the gate, the number one gate in the gene keys and human design that is like, who am I? It's the gate that's located in the G center as well over here. And it asks the question of who am I? I am me. Gate one says, I am me. I am not Tan, even. I am not Thai. I am not a Buddhist. I am not an astrologer. I am not an artist. I am not straight. I am not gay. I am me. Oh, this is so powerful. I'll come back to the one in a little bit because I feel like it links to Saturn a lot because it is in a square to the Saturn. So Saturn is in gate 22 in Aquarius. In the gene keys, that is the gate of the gene key of revolution, the shadow of reaction, the gift of revolution, and the city of rebirth. Changing the world from the inside. You see how Richard Rudd just gets this right? Revolutions come when you change the world from inside yourself. When you change yourself first, you change the world. And this is the positive side of the awakened Aquarius. The shadow of a sleeping Aquarius is looking to change the world from the outside. It's looking outside of itself all the time to change whatever's there. And it doesn't get to the essence. It doesn't get to that Taurus, Scorpio foundation of things. But with the help of Taurus and Scorpio, and although maybe Aquarius doesn't like it because it squares Aquarius, but it can really help Aquarius into getting to the foundation of things. The real revolution is the revolution inside of yourself. You can see that the shadow of the 49 is reaction. And that is when you're wanting to change the world, but you're wanting to do it from anger. When anger fuels revolution, that's a reactive revolution. A reactive revolution just causes more and more anger in the world. It's going to bounce. Anger is going to bounce back to an angry revolution. You will get angry people coming back. And you can see this a lot in the world where it's like, you're rebelling against something, which is a great cause that you're fighting for. But your choice of words, the way that you're saying it, and the things that you're saying, it's so aggressive that what you end up getting in return is people who are going to rebel against that rebellion, which could have been a really nice cause. That kind of made sense. And you end up getting people that are just kind of angry with that. And yeah, so that's the thing I wanted to get to is, when you look at gene key number one, you see the shadow of it is entropy, right? So entropy means that there's a lot of energy that's sort of like boiling up, kind of like a kettle, a water kettle, the water's kind of boiling inside. And when the timing is right, that energy can be used for creativity. It can infuse originality and uniqueness into the revolutions. But reaction, if you have the shadow of reaction and the shadow of entropy and you put them together, you have like this quite destructive explosion of a revolution that is just built on reaction and energy that cannot be contained and doesn't understand its momentum, and it's released before it's ready, if that kind of makes sense. So the way that the Scorpio can help here, the way that the shadow of entropy can be turned to freshness to help fuel this, not fuel, but to help calm down the reactive tendencies, is to wait until the timing is right, until you have a strategy. Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is the planet that wants to bring in strategies. Saturn is the planet that wants you to master something. So what are we mastering here? Saturn wants us to master revolutions. Saturn wants us to master how we have been revolting with the world. And Saturn wants you to do that with strategy, not with reaction explosions and impatience and entropy. So Saturn wants to tell you, wait. You have a fire within you. You have a lot of creative energy within you. You want to change the world. Wait until that energy dies out slowly and it slowly dissipates. you can take that slow dissipating energy and then use it to slowly build up a plan so that you can have a radical change in the world. So that's how I see the relationship between the 1 and the 49. And then the 4, which is opposite of the 49, that we have Mercury. So Mercury is in 24 degrees of Leo, 2418. So that falls into the programming partner of the 49, which is the 4, intolerance, understanding, forgiveness. I don't even think I need to explain this to you guys. I think you can already feel the energies here. That understanding and forgiveness is an important part of revolution. A revolution has to come from a place of love. It has to come from a place of understanding the other side, from a place of, even we can say, like, forgiving the other, the opponent, and understanding that anybody who has caused pain to anybody in the past or in the present day, they are in pain themselves. Ideas of like dictatorships that we've had in the world, people who have caused separation, who've started wars, they were all hurt. Can you imagine what I don't want to say any names, I'll just say a dictator. Can you imagine what fate or what that dictator would do if they had amazing parents, if they grew up in a loving family, and then because of that loving family, they were able to have loving, intimate relationships, and they had a great sex life. They had an orgasm every morning. I guarantee you that dictator, quote dictator, would not have been a dictator. Gene key number 2, unity, is all about love. Gene key 4, understanding. Love and understanding is what makes the world go round. And in order to have that, there's nothing that we can actually do externally because that is superficial. What you can do is begin from your family, yourself, your intimate relationships, and you'll see that flourishing in the world in the way that it needs to be. In human design, there is what is called the Incarnation cross. Like if you get your human design body graph, you will see that on some place there it will say like what incarnation cross you're born in, meaning like what you're born here to do in this incarnation, in this lifetime. And so this particular configuration falls into an incarnation cross as well. Gene key, human design key 2, 1, 49, and 4, they cross each other, right? It's a cross. So this is part of an incarnation cross called the left angle cross of defiance, 2, 1, 49, 4. Whether conscious of this energy or not, you are here to step out of line and to represent the other way of doing things. Your perceived defiance may be small or great, but your real goal here is to bring about variations from the norm. Most of the time, this will result in slight variances coming into acceptance. This occurs not from your action, but rather from their perception of your action by others. It is in this way that you lend your design to society, tweaking those things that are mired and need change to be better. So beautiful souls, I'd really like you to think about a new way of creating revolutions in order to create change in the world. I'd like you to drop the old and existing way of doing things when it comes to revolutions. Remove yourself from the mass propaganda of revolutions. That's a revolution itself. That's a rebel in itself. What else can you think of? What else can you come up with? I think Leonardo DiCaprio was born on the cross of defiance, but he was a 1 because he was a Scorpio. And his movies are, they're on this theme of the cross of defiance. I don't know if you've watched this movie. I think it's called Look Up. that really reminds me of this cross of defiance as well. And I have the 49 and the 4 in my incarnation cross. So my sun is in gene key 23, line 1. I was born when the sun was in 19 degrees of Taurus, so it just left gene key 2, just brushes right past gene key 2. And the cross after the cross of defiance, the 23, 43, 49, 4 is called the cross of explanation. And I feel like I understand this defiant behavior, but I'm here to explain it. I'm here to like explain it to you guys. I'm here to explain it to the world because I've just moved past that, you know. But yeah, so food for thought today, beautiful souls. So that's it for today, beautiful souls. I'd love to hear what you think about this upcoming transit, what you think about the interpretation today. Leave in the comments below what you think about it and how you've been feeling into this energy as well, because embodiment is super important. And like this, give this video a like if you like it, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you already subscribed, and thank you very much for coming along. And don't forget to head over to my art YouTube and hit the subscribe button to see the process of how I make my defiant art. All right, that's it for today, beautiful souls. I hope you leave this video with some contemplations, but also a smile on your face and lightheartedness as well as intensity, both. The balance of that yin and yang energy, the 2 and the 1. Sending you so much love. Bye.